Welcome back for another intermediate running strength training workout for runners. This week's workout, dumbbells, kettlebells, and resistance bands will be used, so please use those pieces of equipment for optimal results. For the resistance band, you'll want to tie it around a doorknob or some sort of bolster around waist height, and then we're going to use a mini loop band around our feet to do some glute activation drills while standing. But before we get into all that, let's start with a warm-up, about 30 seconds each, and let's go, jumping jacks. Just about 30 seconds each movement. Just get the major joints moving, warmed up. Increase the range of motion as you get into each exercise. Okay, now we're going to do a single leg balance hip circle drill. So you're going to bring your leg up and then you're going to swing it outward and back and then back to the standing position, and then you go backwards all the way out to the side and then back to the forward position. And let's alternate sides. So we're going to do 5 on each side. Go nice and slow. Try to maintain your balance, explore as far into the range of motion on the hip that you're moving as best you can. Nice, slow, controlled motions. As you get used to this exercise, try to continue to get to the end range of motion, so you should have a little bit more range of motion to work with as you do each rep. Okay, now we're going to go into some toe walks and heel walks. So up on your toes, heels nice and high off the ground. And then go forward and backwards. You can go side to side. The goal is just to get those plantar flexors or the muscles on the back side of your lower leg activated, warmed up, keeping the heel nice and high. You can take quick steps, you can take slower steps. Just want to start feeling a little bit of a burn on that back side of the lower leg. Okay, now let's transition into some heel walking. So same thing. Toes nice and high, take small steps. You can take a little bit bigger steps. Forwards, backwards. You can do side to side. Just trying to get the front of the lower leg warmed up. Okay. Now we're going to go into some body weight squats. So feet just wider than shoulder width apart, and sit down into a squat. As you get into the motion, then you can go a little bit lower each rep. And you can start speeding up the motion as you get warmed up into this exercise. Okay, shake that out. And now we're going to go into ice skater. So we're going to hop side to side. The stance leg will be in front, back leg swings behind. Jump side to side. Here we go. Keep going, keep going. Go a little bit faster. You can jump a little bit further as you get into the exercise. Keep going, keep going. Okay, take a break, and then we're going to end with pogo hops, where we're going to press up through our toes very quickly, Try to press up as fast as we can and get as much height as possible. Here we go. Every press up, you're trying to pull the feet up towards the shins. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, take a break. Now we're gonna go into a core strengthening protocol. This week's edition's a little bit more involved, but a lot of good exercises in there to stimulate the core for running postures. So we're gonna start with single leg glute bridges, 10 on each side. Here we go. Keep that core engaged, back pressed down towards the ground. You're gonna press up, squeeze through the glute. Feel the back of the leg working with each rep. Make sure you're pressing up high enough. Should feel mainly in the glute, maybe a little bit in the hamstrings, but make sure you're feeling in the glute muscles. Now let's switch sides. Same thing on the other leg, 10 reps. Press through the glutes each rep. Get those hip muscles activated. Okay, now let's move the feet away from the hips. So a little bit straighter leg, and we're gonna do hamstring bridge marches. So dig your heels into the ground, pull your heels towards you into the ground, lift the hips up, and then march in place with the feet, alternating legs. You're gonna do 10 reps on each side. Keep it going. Try to keep those hips nice and high off the ground in line with your torso. Keep the hips up, don't sag. Keep it going. Should really start feeling those hamstrings burn. All right, now shake them out a little bit, kick them out. Now we're gonna go into some push-ups. So we're gonna do 10 push-ups. Keep your hands just wider than mat width. And here we go, 10 reps. And if you need to, you can drop down onto your knees for the push-ups. Just do what you can. And then right after the push-ups, we're gonna go into plank up down. So let's bring our hands under our shoulders now, feet a little bit wider. We're gonna drop down onto our forearms and press back up into straight arms. Keep going. We're gonna do this 10 times. Try to keep your body as stable as possible when you're making the transition. Don't let those hips drop or rotate too much. Control the motion. Almost done. All right, take a break. Now let's get your mini loop band and let's put it around your toes or your forefeet. Now we're gonna start with our feet just wider than hip width apart into a shallow squat, and we're gonna do crab walks. So we're gonna take a step to one direction and then we're gonna step to the opposite direction. About 5 steps each direction. Try to keep your band nice and taut the whole time, so don't take too big of a step in with each step to maintain the band tension. And keep going until you feel a burn into those side hip muscles. You should really feel the gluteal muscles working for this exercise. So press from those side of the hip muscles. I was definitely feeling the burn of this exercise. Okay, kick it off. Now you're going to put the band above the knees. And we're going to Have a single leg stance, so mid stance for running. The opposite leg is gonna come up off the ground, and then you're gonna work on pressing that leg back and out to the side while maintaining a stable position on that stance leg. We're gonna do 10 reps on each side. So think about a 30-degree angle or so going behind you, and that's where you're trying to press that thigh each rep. And then after 10, switch sides. Trying to maintain as much stability as possible through your torso and that stance leg while doing the movement. Okay. Now when you're done, go ahead and put the band back around your forefeet, midfoot area. And then if you need to for this one, you can put your hand on a foam roller or chair or something, but we're gonna do hip flexor marches. So you're gonna drive the knee up towards your chest, really using those muscles in the front of the thigh. 10 reps on each side. I recommend using something for balance because we just want to work on the activation and the strengthening, not too worried about balancing on this one. Usually these feel pretty easy when I start, but as I get into it, my hip flexors get fatigued pretty quickly. Once you do 10 on each side, go ahead and kick the band off. And then we're gonna go into a new exercise that we haven't gone over in the strength training series yet, but we're going to be doing a forward lunge with a kettlebell. So you're gonna go up into mid stance, hold it, and you're gonna press the kettlebell or the dumbbell, whatever you have at home, and you're gonna press it out in front of your chest. So you know, watch me first, go up into mid stance, press the weight out, drop down into a forward lunge, press back up straight into mid stance, and then you're going to hold, press the weight out, drop down into a forward lunge, go right back into mid stance, press out, and back down. So you need a little bit of space for this one, but try to do about 3 to 5 marches forward. So down into a forward lunge, right back into mid stance, catch your balance, press the weight out. I'm using a 26-pound kettlebell, and that is plenty for me at the moment, feeling my core engage significantly as I press the weight away. So just go at your own pace for this one, get the mechanics down, forward lunge, into mid stance, press the weight out, back down. It's a really good core strengthening exercise that's specific for running to work on that control during mid stance. Okay, when you're done with those, we're gonna go into our strength circuit. Our strength circuit is gonna consist of a step up with dumbbells, single leg banded press, a single leg deadlift with dumbbells, single leg and single arm banded row, Bulgarian, so you'll need something to put your foot on for that exercise, and then we're gonna finish with a soleus calf raise or a bent knee calf raise. Each exercise I will perform 8 to 10 repetitions, so do the same rep numbers at home and adjust the weights accordingly. So let's start with step ups. Here we go. Each time, step down onto the elevated surface quickly and accelerate the back leg up into mid stance, and then slow on the way back down. Working on quick activation, stomp down, knee up, slow back down, stomp down, knee up. If you don't have an elevated surface, it's okay. You can do it on the flat ground, but you'll get more out of it on an elevated surface. Switch sides after you've done 10. 10 more on the opposite leg. Stomp down, knee up. Stomp down, knee up. Slow on the return. Okay, now we're going to go into the single leg chest press with a band. So this is where you need a resistance band tied to a doorknob or bolster, staircase, something like that. You're going to step through the looped band and put the band around chest height. Walk out against the resistance, hands around chest height. And then you're going to do 10 presses while maintaining a single leg posture. So think about a figure 4 with your legs, keep your core engaged, do 10 presses. As you press out, you should feel your core engage. The stance leg, glute, and hamstring should be activated. Keep going. If you're having a hard time with the balance of this drill, actually walk out a little bit further. It helps when you have more resistance to press against, and it makes it a little bit more stable. Switch legs after 10. Figure 4 mid stance. Keep that glute engaged, core engaged. You'll see me occasionally put my toe down just for balance, and that's okay. Just if you need to, put your foot down for a second, then get it right back up into that figure 4. Okay, step out of the band, and then we're going to do single leg deadlifts with dumbbells. So for this one, slight bend in the knee, and you're going to sit back and down into your hip. You should feel your hamstrings activate, a little bit of a stretch, and then use those muscles to help bring you back up to the standing position. 10 reps each side. Try to keep your pelvis facing the floor so you're not rotating off of that lead leg. Strong squeeze of your glutes, hamstrings at the top of this motion. And switch sides. Remember, keeping your pelvis square to the ground, not rotating away. Okay, go ahead and set your dumbbells down, and now we're going to go into a single leg, single arm row. So grab that band you use for the chest exercise, put it around one hand and wrist, step back, and the opposite leg of the arm you're holding the band is going to be your stance leg, and you're going to pull the arm back while sitting into that lead leg so you feel a little bit of that glute and hamstring activation. Most of your weight's in that lead leg. Back leg is there just for a little bit of support. Maintain an upright posture and pull each time, about 10 reps each side. Strong squeeze of your shoulder blade towards your spine to feel that mid-back activate. Okay, let's switch sides. So opposite hand through the band, step back to get some good resistance. Opposite leg forward. Back leg is there just for a little bit of balance. And pull the band back, shoulder blade towards the spine, sitting into that hip of that lead leg. This works your mid stance for running, works those back muscles for posture. 10 reps. Okay, so after this one, we're gonna get into Bulgarian split squats. So you will need a chair or something that you can place your foot onto to do the exercise, and then use a kettlebell or a dumbbell to add more challenge to this exercise. So start seated, legs straight, stand up, and then put the opposite leg back up onto the chair or bench, whatever you're working with. Grab your weight, and then we're gonna do 10 reps, 8 to 10 reps each side. I recommend doing a slight lean forward with your torso. That allows you to sit into your hip a little bit more easily. So you should feel your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, everything working for you with this exercise. Switch sides after 8 to 10 reps. And here we go. This is one of my favorite strengthening drills for runners. Really isolates each leg, works a ton of muscles, and activates your core. So after 8 to 10 reps, go ahead and have a seat on the bench or the chair that you're using. Put the dumbbell or kettlebell on your knee, and we're gonna do soleus raises or bent knee calf raises. So keep the weight on the knee and then press up through your toes. This one, do as many reps as you need until you start feeling a little bit of a burn in those deep lower leg muscles. Real strong squeeze at the top of this motion. It will likely feel very easy when you start, but as you get into reps 10 through 15 or so, you'll start feeling that good burn. Switch sides after you get there. All the way through the toes, press up through that big toe. Okay, so that does it for round one. Take a little bit of a break. Now that you're familiar with the exercises that we're using, take note of what weights you're using and adjust the weights accordingly. So you can do about 8, 10, 12 reps or so. If you felt like it was really easy, then challenge yourself with more weight. If you felt like you were really struggling in the first round, then use a little bit lighter weight so you can get through the exercises successfully, because we're gonna do 3 full rounds of this. Okay, so when you're ready, let's start round 2. Grab your dumbbells, make your way over to your step that you can step up onto. And we'll do 8 to 12 reps on each leg. Here we go. Step down, knee up. Step down, knee up, hold, back down. Step down, knee up, hold, back down. Try to be fast and stable at the top of the motion. Strong squeeze through the gluteal muscles on the way up to the top. And after your 8 to 12 reps, go ahead and switch sides. Foot down, knee up. Foot down, knee up. Excellent. Now we're going to transition to the single leg banded press. So step through your band, keep it around chest height. Walk out till you get some significant resistance that you have to lean against. And then lift one of your legs up into a figure 4 position. And then press forward, maintaining that forward lean. Doing 8 to 12 reps. I'm doing 10 in the video. Maintain that good posture with each press. You should feel your core working. You should feel the stance leg glute and hamstring engaged. Switch sides. Think about your shoulders, your hips, your knee are all stacked in one position. Okay, now let's grab the dumbbells again, and we're going to do the single leg deadlifts. So lead leg's doing all the work, sitting back and down into the lead leg's hip. Dumbbells go straight down towards the ground. Leg goes back in line with the torso. 8 to 12 reps. As you're lowering, you should feel that lead leg's hamstring stretch, engage a little bit, and think about using those muscles to bring yourself back to the starting position. Go a little more slowly on the way down, and then try to quickly stand back up. Feel the hamstrings and glutes working. Keep the pelvis facing the ground. You don't want to rotate away. Switch sides. Keep going. Okay, now we're going to switch to the single arm, single leg banded row. So go back to your band and put one arm through or one hand through and grab onto the band. Walk back till you feel a significant pull. And then stand on the opposite leg. Trying to mimic a mid stance while running. And pull the band back, shoulder blade towards the spine, 10 reps each side. The back leg is just there for a little bit of balance, but all your weight should be in that lead leg, and you should pull with that opposite arm, feel the mid-back muscles engage. Okay, let's switch sides. Do another about 10 reps. So opposite leg, opposite arm. Back leg just for some support, but you should feel your glutes, your hamstring, your leg engaged on that lead leg while you're doing the pull in the opposite arm. Okay, next exercise, we're going to Bulgarian split squats with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. Place the kettlebell or dumbbell on the ground, out where your lead leg will be. Have a seat, straight leg, stand up nice and tall, and then anchor the back leg up on the chair or bench. Grab your weight and stand all the way up with each motion. So back down and all the way up. Slight forward lean, squeezing through the glutes. Okay, switch legs. We're doing 8 to 12 reps. And you want to feel a challenge within that range, so adjust the weight as necessary as you go through the rounds. Feel your whole leg engage, feel the glutes, feel the quads. Press through your entire foot on the ground, equal pressure, big toe, pinky toe, heel. Okay, now we're gonna go into the bent knee calf raise. So let's put that weight on top of your knee, have a seat, and then lift your heel up off of the ground, pressing up through the weight. Emphasize pressing up through your big toe. Just go until you have a good burn, 10, 15 reps or so. And then let's switch sides. Ten, 15 reps, go until it burns. Real good exercise that hits the soleus muscle, the deeper flexor muscles of the lower leg. All right, now go ahead and take a break. That's end of round 2. We're gonna do one more round to finish off. So for this last round, let's push it a little bit. Let's get the most out of each exercise. So falling in that 8 to 12 range, try to challenge yourself with a little bit heavier weights if you have the available equipment. Okay, so let's do the last round. Let's go ahead and grab your dumbbells. We're gonna start with the step ups. So get over towards your step or your chair, whatever you're using. And let's go, 8 to 12 reps. Quick on the foot down and then drive that knee up. Stabilize at the top. So foot down, knee up. Foot down, knee up. Okay, now switching sides, same thing. Get that foot down fast and drive that knee up. Foot down, knee up. And stabilize at the top of that motion. Okay, so now let's grab the band and we're going to do our final round of banded chest press. So step through the band chest height, and walk it out till you get some pretty good resistance that you can shift your body forward against and hold. Go into a single leg stance, figure 4 position with the legs, and then press out. Doing 10 reps. Okay, now we're gonna switch legs and do another 10 reps. So walk it out, forward lean, legs in figure 4, 10 presses. All right, now we're going to grab the dumbbells again. We're going to do single leg deadlifts, last round, 8 to 12 each side. Just remember, you should feel this in the glute, you should feel this in the hamstring. Really sit your hip back and down. Feel that stretch in the hamstring in the down position, and then think about using those muscles to pull yourself back up to standing. Switch sides, we'll do 8 to 12 on the other side now. And try to emphasize, if you have good control of the motion, just coming up a little bit faster to the standing position again. Okay, now let's go back over to the band and we're going to do our single arm, single leg rows. So grab the band, walk out till you get some pretty decent resistance. and then stand on the opposite leg of the arm and pull shoulder blade towards the spine. The back leg is there just for a little bit of support. The lead leg is keeping all the balance of your weight. So it's a good way to get some isometric hold into the glutes, the hamstring, while you're doing the active pull through the back muscles. Now let's switch sides. 8 to 12 on this other side. So standing on the opposite leg of the pull. Okay, now we're going to go to our last round of Bulgarians with the kettlebell or the dumbbell. So have a seat, set your weight out. And make sure you're challenging yourself. This is the last round. So let that weight follow the lead leg down. Sitting back and down into the hip. Last round, you should really feel a strong burn in those hip muscles, hamstrings, the quads. It's one of the better exercises to work on all those big muscle groups and one leg at a time, which makes it ideal for running. Switch legs, 8 to 12 reps. All right, last exercise. Have a seat, put the weight on top of your knee, and we're gonna do bent knee calf raises. This one, about 10 reps or so, 15 reps. Just go until it burns. Last round. Keep going, keep going. Pressing up through the big toe. When you get into that big toe, you should feel a little bit more activation on that inner part of the lower leg. Looks like I was starting to get a little tired there, so try to emphasize getting that heel up as high as you can. Every single rep, make every single rep count. All right, set the weight aside. That does it for all the strength training for today's session. Now we'll just go through a few stretches to cool down. So first, let's cross the leg over in a seated position. We're gonna do a glute hug. So just wrap your arms around the outer knee, pull it towards the opposite shoulder, and just hang out there. Should feel a little bit of a stretch on the outer glute. Just relax into it, take some deep breaths. And then let's switch legs. So hug that knee towards your chest, nice and tight. If you can't get it all the way to your chest, just take it as far as you can comfortably. Nice, mild, moderate stretch. Now let's go into a cowboy sit. So back leg, toes are pressed into the ground, and you're sitting into this real tight lunge position, sitting your weight back down on the heel. If you can't sit down that far, just lean forward with your body, put your hands on the ground for some support. But good toe stretch, plantar fascia stretch, helps with some knee mobility. Switch sides. So again, toes pressed into the ground, bent knee, sit back towards the heel, knee stays on the ground. And again, if you need to, just lean your body forward, hands on the ground to offset some of the weight. And then final stretch, we're just gonna go into a standing position. Bend your knees, lean your body forward, and then think about sticking your butt up towards the ceiling and back towards the wall behind you. So you're actively straightening out the legs, so you should feel a real good hamstring stretch when you keep the knees bent like that and just trying to press your hips up towards the ceiling. And you just rest your arms on your knees. You can try rocking side to side to get either leg more of a stretch. All right, so that does it for this week's strength training workout. Hope you got a good workout in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share this with a friend, and we'll see you on the next workout.